Okay, hello Storm Gamers. Today we are watching Korean Bob up in the top right on the Vanguard against Hyy, the Celestial King, one of our top 3-4 Celestial players. Starting off with a Morph Core is the Celestial, and he will be sending that. You either send it to the base of your main ramp, or if you're feeling more aggressive, you can send it over the cliff. This is on Broken Crown specifically, of course, over the cliff on Broken Crown. And then the rush distance is very, very small. It's very generous. So if you want to put on that early aggression, this is how you do it. This first chamber will obviously get 2 surges on it, and about 3 Argents will come out of it. You can do a 4th one, but typically you do 3 Argents and then an array with a 3rd prism behind it. Korean Bob is doing something interesting. He's building a barracks and not mining any gas. So you see the hedgehog opener almost all the time now to deal with all of these early Argents. These Argents do pose a threat even with 3 or 4 of them. They can end the game if you don't have any units to meet them. So we've got a scouting Bob, a scouting dog coming out of Bob. He's going to see the Argent just as it enters his main, so not the most useful. And he did actually save his overcharge for the workers, so they will be able to build the sentry post very quickly. He does have a wall on his main, but the Argents can still walk through in here. I don't think they can walk in on the right side though, and they can also walk in between these 2 buildings. But obviously if they walk in, they may not be able to walk out, and you see Bob actually using a repair micro there in the choke point so that the workers can't walk, the Argents can't walk past them. The workers are able to stop the aggression there basically. The sentry post is the go home part of the interaction, but until then the workers were making sure no trouble was coming, because there's actually no units other than the workers to shoo the Argents. If they get into the main, he'd have to use his workers to try and deal with range units, which is not the most ideal situation. There is a 4th Argent, even a 5th Argent after array there, so he went 4 Argents into array, and now he's just making Argents again up to 5. They're unable to get into this base now and do anything too meaningful. He could, if he really felt spicy, just run into the main with all 5 Argents past the sentry post. But he risks getting walled in, he risks getting surrounded by the workers, so he's playing it safe. Hyy knows I'm up onto a 2nd base now, most of the way at least, and he knows he's not in any real imminent trouble, so he's just happy taking that lead. There is a dog buzzing around, seeing what he can see. I imagine he went and checked for the 3rd, or maybe not. Let's see Korean Bob's vision here. Yeah, it looks like he didn't confirm whether the array was on the 3rd, but he did see it on the natural, which is very important information. So he knows it's not a 1 base all in. He knows it's not 3 chambers pumping Argents. And Hyy actually getting a 3rd array already, so very, very greedy stuff. The Vanguard player is on 1 base. His worker production is just this 1 command post, whereas Hyy is going to have the possibility of pumping out prisms. He doesn't have too many yet. You can see there's 1 rallied into his natural, but he's not making the prisms yet. Oh, look at that. We've got an overcharge from Korean Bob. He's actually pulling 4 more guys after the initial 5 Bobs, servos that is, to build a natural. And he wants to get this first Stormgate. The first Stormgate represents the possibility of a Faerun. And actually you can see there the blue gems, or power stones I think they're called, they are for the blue player, who is Hyy. But now we've got a flak cannon with workers surrounding it, and Hyy says, I'm not going to get the Stormgate, I'll just let that go. Workers even helping out, doing some extra damage there. And yeah, Hyy just says, I'm going to run into your natural. We still have some overcharge left, so we're going to try and get out another sentry post. So we have a sentry post here, 1 at the Stormgate, and 1 in the natural is trying to be built too. The injured one makes it into the sentry post and becomes a flak cannon. Some nice micro here, getting the injured Argents, trying to peck out some of these workers to stop them from building the flak cannons, turning around and getting another Exo. So pretty good trades for Hyy as well with the Argents, but we do have the Stormgate. These workers need to get back into the natural, of course, and we do have a Faerun, so 5 Argents probably not enough to run down this Faerun and make sure that it doesn't get home, because this thing is insane. The amount of healing that this gives the army, if you can keep this alive, it's actually just an incredible unit the entire game. And you'll see this in every game that the Faerun is available. That's what people pick, because right now it's just incredibly strong. Another B.O.B overcharge, servo overcharge. We've gone for some more aggressive pulling here. The Faerun will be keeping everything healed up. You can see this injured worker, if he doesn't get immediately killed. Hi, some good micro there. Oh no, he's not going for the Faerun. That's very interesting. I would just go and kill that Faerun. Yeah, that's the one. Korean B.O.B kind of sacrificing the Faerun, I guess, to get the sentry post up. Is now going to be able to push forwards into Hyy, who has built all of his structures in front of his natural there, so that you can't just walk down here and kill the array on the high ground, because this is actually very exposed. You see there is a scout here that will be able to howl and provide vision to the high ground, and this array will go down. So that's why all of these buildings are here. It's no accident. You know, Hyy is playing cleverly here, but now he's got a flat cannon push. So Korean B.O.B, he's doing a lot of interesting things with his flat cannon and Exo. That's his composition. And workers, of course, to build the flat cannons in the sentry posts. So getting a lot of power banks now is Korean B.O.B, pushing forward very aggressively. He's just continuing on building stuff. He's got a natural, it's not, you know, fully saturated or anything, but there is potential there. Even his main isn't saturated. So in terms of economy, Korean B.O.B isn't doing well. In terms of supply, he's not doing well, but his main advantage is that he's got all of his flat cannons out. And he's killing a lot of buildings, killing power banks, and he'll even kill all these chambers, because Hyy doesn't really have an answer for flat cannons at this stage of the game. This array is going to be denied. That prism managing to sneak out, he will live, but the array goes down.
Stormgate will activate soon.
The Stormgate is here now. Imagine if it was back here again with the flat cannons providing some zoning potential. Hyy actually going in aggressively, gets a flat cannon. Fighting into 4 flat cannons now. Losing a lot of Argents for this, but he is getting the flat cannons down. And you see this one dog here may well go into a sentry post and howl to provide the vision. We can go on Korean B.O.B's vision here. He can't see up the high ground quite yet, but at the moment he's still got plenty of buildings to shoot. That one prism tries to make it home but dies. And there it is, the sensor array providing high ground vision. Hyy knows I need to get my array out of here immediately, but he's also got a bunch of buildings here in range of these flat cannons, so the damage hasn't ended, and you can see the supply is evening out. We've got ourselves a Stormgate on the Hyy. What does he get? He gets the Prowler, Void Prowler pack. It's 5 dogs, they do very decent damage, 34 damage per hit. Doesn't matter against light, heavy, whatever. Just that's 34 damage, it's a lot. If you look at an Exo, 13, maybe 15 against heavy. Oh goodness, the Void Prowlers have already made it into the main. Remember, they do have a blink that doesn't require vision. He gets a flat cannon with it, hasn't lost a dog yet. And obviously Korean B.O.B needs to find a response for this, otherwise the dogs will just go and kill him. And obviously he's got most of his army across the map. He's managed to take out the natural from Hyy. Hyy has a main base, and this isn't mining yet, but it will in a second. So both players taking significant economic damage. Cutting the trees here is Korean B.O.B. And just building more and more flat cannons. That's the name of the game here. These dogs are just sitting here denying the Luminite. It looks like we did lose 1, but we still have 4. Just constantly causing a threat here. Another flat cannon goes up, but this time there are enough Argents to just bust it down. We do have another one behind the tree line. Causing some nice damage too, so it's not a completely one-sided trade here. You can see the Argents are falling, but that was maybe a bit of a overstep from Korean B.O.B, who, you know, has less supply, but he has more buildings, a lot more buildings. Not only did he build more buildings, but he also killed more buildings. All those chambers and power banks, even the high ground stuff here that Hyy had, is now down. And the dogs are still running wild. 2 sentry posts. A third one on the way. 3 sentry posts already here, because there's still that one from the early game. Remember, Korean B.O.B could sell some of these sentry posts at any point and get all the money back for them. He's chosen not to. He's chosen to have these zoning tools on the map, which, you know, in the game of Stormgates, where you have these places that you need to get to, having a bunch of static on the map isn't so bad. 2 exos going down for free though. And a very novel and interesting style here from Korean Bob. Ends up in some interesting situations. Even more sentry posts, just more and more sentry posts.
Detected. A Stormgate will activate
Black
soon.
cannons and sentry posts. Next Stormgate is in the middle of the map again. And it looks like we've run out of steam here for Korean Bob. He does have a lot of exos, but they're all inside buildings. So there's no actual army trying to
A Stormgate has appeared.
cover for all of these flat cannons. Here come the Argents. Targeting down the workers, saying that's enough sentry post behavior from you. And what is Korean Bob's move here? Pulling more servos across the map. That's the choice. Just an endless amount of sentry posts all over. Hyy, unable obviously to get that natural, decides to take the corner base eventually when he has the money for it. Is thinking about blobbing his Argents in. He's going to go try and gun down some of these exos. But the flat cannons targeting hopefully the center of the ball of Argents. Some injured ones in there. Nope, we've run out of steam. The sentry posts get cleared out. There's obviously a lot more to fall back to, so these workers aren't in danger. But the middle Stormgate is Hyy's. It doesn't seem like there's any attempt to deny that. We're just kind of skulking around our base defenses at the moment. See the production tab. We've got 3 exos being made at a time, and 4 or 5 units from Hyy being in the Argent Kree, of course. Not giving up is Korean Bob. He's just getting more and more turrets up, pushing into Hyy's base, and Hyy's just kind of saying, alright, I will move away from your base defenses. I will not engage them as much as I can. I will just try and build away from it and maintain my supply lead. Oh, Argent Kree coming in. The flat cannon. Let's click on one that's not about to die. Flat cannon has 12 range, so even the ones back here will shoot Kree coming forward. So that's one disadvantage of having the Kree, but obviously they are quite tanky. Slightly more, 30 more health than the Argents, and also some armor, which gives them, well, 5 more armors, give them a little bit more damage reduction. But you see, right here, it's just a very painful exchange, because these are 4 or 5 flat cannons shooting Hyy's entire army. We did manage to get the Swarm Mother, making quite a few, I don't know exactly how many, but quite a few Swarmlings, which each have 40 health, and free. It's on a cooldown on this Swarm Mother, so constantly going to send those forward, maybe the Argents behind it. The Swarm Mother basically replaces the Kree Ball, as something that the flat cannons can shoot and provide tanking for the Argents to do some damage behind it. Yeah, no intention yet of a third base from Korean Bob. He's just very much about buildings on 2 bases. Buildings and exos. Exos and buildings. This seems like a little bit of an ambitious sentry post. Immediately gets denied, but the flat cannons get in a few licks themselves.
Rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
So pretty hard to tell which way the trades are going in each of these engagements, because there's always less for Korean Bob, but it's always the static defense difference as well to be factored in. You can see the supplies are not too far away from each other, but there's just so much money and supply in buildings. Like, this is 6 flat cannons, so 6 exos that are, and 3 just sat there that are not in the main army of Korean Bob. He's playing a real rogue style where he just only pushes forward with sentry posts, keeps a lot of army at home, and ignores the main fight. There's no main fight to be had here against this big ball of Argents. Giving up the Stormgate as well. So we have a Swarm Mother, we'll have something else in a second. I don't think you can actually clone this, so it's not like we'll have 3 or 4 Swarm Mothers coming in. We'll see what we get. We have a deep one, so a deep one does a lot of damage. 250 to heavy, 100 to not heavy. Hits air and ground, so you don't need to worry about that. And you know, 250 damage to each flat cannon. Range 7. So not the best range, but will chunk down these flat cannons in 2 hits. Armor, no armor. The deep one will help a lot against the flat cannons. Some Seraphim coming in. I'm not sure why. I'm guessing it's just in between trying to get up to the Archangels. Got some Seraphim layering over the Argents. Oh no, we're actually disabling. So this has Resolute Seal on it, which disables the flat cannon for 30 seconds. So actually able to get that off of the Ascension Matrix. It's an upgrade you don't see very often, but if there's any game that we have that, you'd think it would be this one. Supply difference is quite large now, but actually Korean Bob getting up 2 bases amidst all of this chaos, amidst these skirmishes. 2 extra bases, so finally getting some decent mining. The main array from Hyy is lifted into this 3rd base. And Hyy is on 3 bases, not much gas mining going on, a little bit here. There's no gas mining here yet, but looks like that Morph Core is going to do that now. We'll see who ends up on the better side of things. I am a bit worried that Hyy has managed to collect these shiny Pokemon from the Stormgates and is able to increase the potency of his army with those. You know, basically a siege unit here with 7 range and a swarm host pumping out 3 units too. So everything else being quite even, Hyy has been able to get these value units out from the Stormgates. Some Hornets being added in. I wonder if that's out of fear of Archangels or if that's respect for the Seraphim. This base being found. Swarmlings, I think they're called. Yeah, Swarmlings coming in for some free damage here. I don't know how much veterancy the Exos get from this, but I assume there'll be some. Did actually clear out some workers there. And obviously taking out this base as well. This Morph Core coming in probably to try and steal some resources, either the Therium or the Luminite. We'll see what that Morph Core decides to do. But yeah, now even the 3rd base being threatened. I think what Korean Bob really needs here is Nano Swarm. Nano Swarm would be so good. It's very difficult to deal with aggressive Nano Swarms as a ball of Argents now. Oh, and even Animancer's coming in now. Dark Prophecy is a few seconds away, and then we'll have Storm.
A Stormgate has appeared.
On these Exos, which don't really have an answer. Like, Vanguard could go for some Atlases, maybe even Helicarriers to try and deal with Animancers. But it's very, very high-tech stuff that he needs, and he's not really getting there. He's just pumping out 8 X's at a time. And there is a Stormgate over here, but it looks like Hyy is ignoring it for now. No, he's turning around for it. He's collecting all the Pokemon. He wants another one. The Seraphim, of course, doing 400%, I think it is, damage extra to Stormgates. And we also just have an enormous army here, you know, so... Yeah, we're almost at 300 supply, almost at max supply for Hyy. In a minute, he'll probably be full supply. And that's with extra Swarmlings, oh no, who are walking into the Dark Prophecy. A second deep one! The depth of these ones have been doubled, and now we have 2 deep ones. Getting up this base, getting up, as I said, another array over here. So when Celestials gets ahead, they do just start stealing your things. We do have medics out. Do they have Nano Swarm? I do not know. But if they do, it could be good, because there's no Purify here. The Purify is locked into the Arc Ship. I mean, we're just trying to kite against this, but the deep ones are, yeah, they're just almost one-shotting the Exos. Swarm Mother as well, providing free value. Dark Prophecy. It all became too much in the end, but what a game. What a fine game from Korean Bob. Showing us a new way to open against Celestials with the flat cannon style, pushing across the map, getting the first Stormgate over here, and then coming in and taking the array, most importantly, but also all of these chambers, power banks, high ground buildings. Definitely a very interesting style being shown. I haven't seen this before. And maybe with a different follow-up, you know, maybe with just some medtechs for Nanoswarm to deal with the Argent Ball. This could have been a win for Vanguard. I don't think it was hopeless. At some point there, it really looked like Korean Bob was going to take it. And then it all just kind of fell apart. The Stormgate's going in the way of Hyy. Firstly, it was the Swarm Mother, then it was the 2 deep ones. But nevertheless, a very interesting game, showing you that Stormgate comes in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. And overall, just a great game. So well done to both players. Hyy does take it in the end. And that's all for me. Make sure to like and subscribe.